Okay, we are unloading a few radios, and yeah, we just keep finding radios. But this has gone pretty well. We've got the good start to this with the trailer. This was basically what was in the trailer, and so we're getting through it, but we've got a long way to go yet. But I'll do sort of something a bit more comprehensive because there's so many fantastic models, ones that even I had to be honest with Sam, that even I have not set eyes on physically before. This is the old test set that I first had at Jensen's. They had a signal generator, and you can't quite see that underneath at the moment, but that's what you got as the apprentice. And then when you upgraded to your first year, you got an IFR 1000. So there you go. A lot of Redcos, bits and pieces, but we're only a little bit into it, so I better get back to work. Otherwise, someone's going to kick my butt. All right. It's okay, 3CM. Actually, I'll go to pause for a bit. Now, if this video is upside down, it's because I've forgotten which way I was holding the phone before. This is actually quite a little while after. I needed a drink. The real jewel that a lot of people probably would miss, I mean, there's obviously a lot of radios here, but the real jewel is for us guys that love, restoring or playing around with, and is these. And I've got to be honest, I'd only ever heard of them, and the great thing about them was, there's hundreds of them here, by the way, but each one of them is to some degree parts layout, almost service details, etc., all adjustment points, etc., for, well, all of these. And these, we've got to do something special with these because, number one, we want to keep them in the same pristine condition. Number two, they're actually useful. I mean, it's not something that you'd, go take down to the tip or decide you haven't got room for. If you don't have room for them, you need to throw something out because they are really helpful, especially when you start to say, look, you want to start playing around with like an SBE there in the front, or some of these presidents and all the CPI gear. And from the little bit of research I was just doing on the web, these SAMS books were highly revered by the guys in the US. They really just went to them as a quick look at what's the latest thinking and what's what's happening. And like the one I just pulled out, by the way, just so you've got a date to be able to work out how old Ross is 1977. So there you go. What's that make him? Actually, I reckon he's probably younger than me. He looks younger than me at the moment, I'll tell you. He's looking good. But yeah, look, we've got obviously lots of little bits and pieces which are gold as far as being able to restore. And some of the classic pieces, some of the President series, the Jacksons. I mean, that one's out of the box, but there's a Jackson sitting there in the new box, and 148 GTL Cobra. These are all the stuff that if you're my age, if you're around in your 50s, didn't like saying that actually, but if you're in your 50s, you've probably come across over the years and thought, wow, where am I going to see one of those? At the moment, I've got to fix something here because I've got two SBEs and I didn't want anything on top of those. That's a little mistake Sam's made, but we'll fix that one in a second. That's a dangerous move, but we'll sort that out. But the SBE Console 6s are just fantastic. The condition of them, look, no offence, but compared to my other one, which I've been working hard on that, but you just can't bring some things back to perfection than a well-kept radio. And I think that's just the whole point, is that Ross was always will be, I think, a true collector, and that's I'm not sure whether I fit collector or hoarder at times, but I do, love what we do, and it's certainly something that and it gives you a lot of enjoyment. Time is, it's relative. Sometimes time can get the better of you, and with anything in life. But when you're starting to get into your 50s, well, there's some CPI power supplies too. Not many of those came into Australia. But when you're getting into your 50s, you're starting to free up a little bit of time, hopefully, to be able to sit down, tinker at a desk, and really have a bit of a play with some of the old stuff that you used to, started out playing with when you were younger. And what will happen is it's going to take a little bit more than a few hours here, but piece by piece, we'll go through and get them on the bench. Look, a lot of them are going to fire up beautifully. I know their origin, but there's a few that Ross basically was not getting the time. This shows you just how much time it takes to run a ham radio shop. It starts to get into your hobby a bit sometimes, because you just honestly don't have enough motivation by the end of a day after you've been dealing with people all day, which I know that feeling from when I was an apprentice and then came out of my trade. And you went a bit quieter on amateur radio and CB radio stuff, but yeah, look, this will be certainly a bit of fun. But to give you a scope of, if I walk back from it all, I suppose it helps a bit more to sort of give it. This is where my 996 Porsche normally sits, and I've just gone to put that over in the new shed, because you guys are probably on the videos normally seeing a HR sitting here, that V8 HR. 26 Pontiac's still there, but that'll head over to the other shed. Just got a couple more things to do. Sam's would have moved today. Her Porsche would have moved, but no, bloody flat battery. Couldn't believe it. And for all you Porsche owners out there, don't forget that you need to pull 3 fuses down, 3 fuses across from the right. Pull that fuse, put a bit of wire in there, and then you'll be able to open the bonnet to get to the battery, which is the thing I had to remember today, because it was dead flat. I mean, there was nothing left of it. So anyway, back to radio. This there's obviously a number of boxes that you're sort of seeing behind, and there's still stuff to go through, but it's got to that stage of night where you think, well, this is progress, and I've got to get a bit of work done on the mobile tomorrow. I want to fix a couple of issues on that that we've got on the Land Cruiser. So we'll sort of finish off with we'll do that first, and then start having a bit of a look here, and really, just. But a big thanks to Ross. I'll tell you, this is sort of my dream. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I mean, I've got most things I want in life, to be honest, and when this came up, I thought, wow, this is something I never thought of. So I really am very thankful. But guys, I'll sort of be doing little videos on individuals as we start sort of firing them up and doing things, and hopefully most of you know our plans and what we're trying to do, so I won't carry on about that. But I really want to show you, especially this test monitor working in its old CB day origin. They really are amazing, and I look, probably going to think I'm mad compared to some of the test equipment that's available now, but you do reminisce with your old apprenticeship days. So anyway, more on that a bit later. You probably haven't seen this for a long time. Clear space in the shed a bit, so just take a couple of cars out, and we're certainly starting to get there. 73s, VK3 Charlie Mike, all the best.